I've actually wrestled bears. You know who else has wrestled bears?
No, who?
Stu Hart, Gene LaBelle, Arn Anderson. We've all wrestled bears, okay? You can't be a champion until you can beat a bear.
This time attempting to slam Tenzan.
Trying to slam the bear. Oh my gosh, what is he doing here? You see, that may confuse Antonio Cesaro, but that would never work on a bear.
You're really obsessed with discussing superstars competing against bears.
Listen, I've competed against bears, I've beat bears, okay? I'm a big believer that if it doesn't work on a bear, you don't do it in the ring.
Can we move on from the bear discussion now?
We might.
Learned this morning that Daniel Bryan has an obsession with bears.
I love bears, all sorts of bears. Black bears, polar bears, koala bears, brown bears, grizzly bears, which is also a kind of brown bear. If he really wants to work that stomach, he should put him in a bear hug.
Big cover and a kick out.
Oh, there it is! There it is! It's the bear hug! This is it, Josh! This is it! This is gonna be the end of the match! Holy cow, he has him in the bear hug! I can no longer bear the suspense! I think he's gonna tap. Oh, he barely got out of that bear hug. Barely hanging on. This is unbearable! He's just gotta grin and bear it. Oh my goodness. Imagine doing this to a bear. Imagine doing this to a bear! Holy cow! You know, all of this was amazing, but not quite as amazing as bears, Josh. Not quite as amazing as bears. Never give up, kids. Never give up.
Hey, PhantasmaCasters. This is PhantasmaCast with Jay and Big B. It is Saturday, September 30th, with Snap. And I wanted to talk about the NFL and their kneeling.
Of course you'd want to talk about sports ball.
Yeah. Well, it just seems interesting because now it's kind of taken a whole nother turn with Trump's comments about wanting people to be fired about kneeling for the national anthem. It just seems like it's getting just way more off topic from what they first started.
Well, I don't know much about sports ball, but I know that as a libertarian, the government should not mandate patriotism. So, that's where I stand.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you shouldn't. I mean, no one should have to do anything like that.
You got that right, you rat-nosed Jew bastard.
But the thing is it more just being against Trump now than actually what they started kneeling for or sitting for?
I don't even know why they're kneeling now.
Well,
Fucking Kaepernick did it last year and nobody gave a shit. Because he was the only one doing it.
Yeah,
Now it seems like the whole team is doing it and they're like, oh, why?
Well, the thing is, Kaepernick started it, and then he kind of opted out of his contract at the end of last year.
Mm-hmm.
And then
he didn't vote.
Yeah, then he didn't vote. He wore those pig socks that were for police.
Oh.
So he's done some dumb stuff, and then he didn't get signed to a team. So now people are outraged. They think he's being blackballed by the NFL because he kneeled for the national anthem. Or
it's because he's not getting the offer he wants. Because the two offers he's gotten were not first string. Is that terminology?
Yeah.
Okay, first string. And he wasn't first string, and they were lower than his last job.
Well, that's the interesting part that so many other people have brought up is Kaepernick's probably not being signed because Kaepernick wants to be first string or starter, and people don't want to pay him first-string starter money.
Isn't he like a terrible quarterback? Or he's like a B- at best?
Yeah, he's probably middle-of-the-road type of quarterback. The only thing that people think is crazy is there's other quarterbacks out there that are probably much worse quarterbacks, and they're on the team, potentially starting or at least second string, so you're just like, why doesn't he have a job? But it seems like it might be more up to Kaepernick more than anything.
I mean, he can always join one of those English football leagues.
Well,
he'd probably be the MVP there.
There's lots of football leagues he could join and probably be really good. So I don't know. It's not that bad. But this talk started coming up of people boycotting games or this or that because Kaepernick doesn't have a job, and then you still had people continuing to kneel, and then that's what started this whole Trump using Twitter.
Have you seen that meme of Colin Kaepernick wearing a Bane mask? And it says, "No one knew who I was until I took the knee."
Yeah, actually, did you?
Yes.
Yeah, you posted that.
I did.
Yeah. I did find that pretty great. As soon as I saw that, though, I thought you could make another meme with Colin Kaepernick, and then you could just make it Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
And you could just make it Daenerys bend the knee, and then just Kaepernick
the
knee. But, it just seems like you either like Trump or you hate Trump. So
you either play the Game of Thrones or you die.
It's true. It's true. So now, this last weekend, they had lots of teams, kneeling or banding arms. You had the Pittsburgh Steelers that actually didn't even come out of the locker room during the national anthem as part of a protest.
Isn't that just poor sportsmanship on that part? I mean, isn't that technically a forfeit because you're not on the field when the game starts? That's delaying the game.
You would think it would be something. It seems strange, and it just seems useless.
I think this is why I like pro wrestling, because I know it's fake. And everybody there is like really fucking cool. I mean, come on, John Cena's the locker room leader.
Yeah. It's just pretty great. I just think it's like they're getting away from what the original protest was about. The original protest was about police, brutality or, overuse of force and stuff like that. And now it's like, probably most of these guys are just protesting to spite Trump or something else. And now you have companies like I think that was DirecTV now is offering refunds on the NFL Network package if people say it's because of the anthem protests. And you're like, really?
Yeah.
And I saw videos of, and you hear a lot about, there's like people with season tickets. They're just burning their season tickets.
Just why? Sell it on eBay.
I'm like, literally, that's so much money.
You can make your money back.
Nope. No. Anthem protests. I must burn these. No one can use these. Oh, my gosh.
You are tearing me apart, Lisa!
Don't know who Lisa is in this instance.
I guess the person who's burning the ticket is Lisa, and we are, and our brain is Tommy Wiseau.
Mm-hmm.
Because we think of great ideas, and then, the people burning their tickets are just tearing them apart. Or Tommy Wiseau is the ticket, and Lisa is the person who owns the ticket, just tearing it apart.
Boom.
Game over, yeah!
Yeah!
So, just curious, as we're kind of talking sports related, what's the biggest reason you don't like sports?
I just never got into it.
It's just not it.
Don't get me wrong, I just can't sit there and watch it. Like, I can play it, I just can't sit there and watch it.
Okay.
I don't find it like competitive, I guess.
Right.
Like I know where people can find it competitive and stuff like that. I just personally don't find it competitive. I'm more of a story-based driven guy, you know.
Is that
That's kind of why I like pro wrestling a little bit more, because I can follow a story.
Yeah.
Like, and I can follow one person in particular and follow them throughout their entire career. You know.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I was just kind of curious on that front. Wrestling though, have you caught up much lately, or are you
All
still
I
not
know,
kinda...
all I know is that Roman Reigns beat John Cena, and their feud is over.
Oh no. That sounds like just the worst.
It does.
It really does. Like, how is automatic?
I also know that Jinder Mahal is still champion, not Shinsuke Nakamura. Why?
Yeah, seriously, he's the draw.
What else? I know Baron Corbin failed his cash in his Money in the Bank because of John Cena, and Jinder Mahal was still champion. AJ Styles is United States champion. Why? Why is he there? Why is he not facing Jinder Mahal? And I know Brock Lesnar pretty much made Braun Strowman look like a jobber.
Like a what?
A jobber is someone who does the job, who will take the loss.
Oh. Interesting.
Yes, like I don't know the term GOAT. I don't know what it means when people say Tom Brady's the GOAT. No, he's a man.
No, he's.
I literally don't know what that means, but you know. Just like you don't know what jobber means.
Yeah.
But now I told you.
Do you want to know what GOAT means?
Kinda, yeah.
Greatest of all time. Yeah.
Tom Brady's not a GOAT, he's a man.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
He's a cheating man.
Yeah. You could.
Now Hulk Hogan,
Hulk Hogan. He's a real American.
he won his battle with Gawker.
Did he really?
Yeah. He beat Gawker. He won that lawsuit.
That lawsuit. Man, that feels like forever. When did that finish up?
I don't
Just
know.
recently, or
Like
I just
beginning of this,
feel like
I
that,
want to say like beginning of this year, end of last year, somewhere around there.
I just feel like that started forever ago.
I know.
It felt like
I know.
Hulk Hogan. What a weird fall from grace.
You want to know who the GOAT is in wrestling?
Who?
Chris Benoit.
Chris.
I mean, come on. No other way to go out than double homicide suicide.
Oh boy.
Double murder suicide. Benoit did nothing wrong.
Oh, he.
I like how I say nothing like double murder suicide. Benoit did nothing wrong.
And I'm just kind of like, okay, yeah, no, agree. Nothing happened. Good.
You know, he didn't kill his wife. He didn't kill his son. He didn't hang himself with his Bowflex.
Ooh, Bowflex, really?
I can't remember what it was. I know it was.
That would have been the most sad thing ever.
It was his gym equipment, though, he hung himself with. I know that for a fact.
Oof, Bowflex.
Yeah.
That would have been pretty. That would have been you. I don't know why, but for some reason that would have made it even more sad.
Well, you want to know what's even more sad is people think he killed his son by putting him in the crippler crossface. His finishing move.
It's probably a really bad time to laugh.
You want to know what else? Chris Benoit has two sons. One who can't go into the WWE because of his last name, Benoit. Because, you know, Chris Benoit's kind of blackballed from anything sports related. I mean, he was in the WWE encyclopedia, but they had an asterisk next to it that stated that they're not going to promote him because they'd be promoting a murderer. So
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you don't want to promote a murderer, but it's not like you can just kind of say, oh, this person was never part of the organization. Like, come on.
that's why they have to asterisk it. He's never going to be in the Hall of Fame. And that's one thing that every wrestling fan has to live with. The dude was a beast in the ring.
The thing is, though, I mean, like, I get it,
Mhm.
murder, but, like, not in the Hall of Fame if he really was that important to the sport. Like, he didn't murder somebody in the ring. Like,
No.
I'm kind of not really understanding that a little bit,
But he did. It's hard to explain why he's not gonna go in the Hall of Fame.
thing
You
is,
know,
what?
because he technically is a murderer.
Right.
He murdered 2 people, and then he killed himself.
Thing is,
All this was during a weekend of which he was supposed to have a title shot
wow.
for the third class championship, but ECW championship.
Now, I wonder, did they ever they ever study him and figure out if it was like mental illness or something?
It's stated his brain was that of a 60-year-old man with Alzheimer's.
I wonder if it's any link to like the CTE.
Because of Chris Benoit, WWE started putting a lot more effort into steroid checking and stronger medical issues.
You would think though, with
Because-
wrestling, there would come a lot of health risks and
Yeah.
issues.
Yeah.
Like older wrestlers, they're not in good shape.
Yeah.
They're not. It's
I mean, Chris Benoit had been like late 30s, I think. I don't know. I have the internet right here. Let me look that up. Chris.
But it's just, it's like some of the other major
Benoit.
sports that you're getting to now, where football, you're seeing football make, guys of that age
Mhm.
pretty much had the same brain like he did. So I just wonder.
He was 40 years old. And he had the brain of... Where was it?
Wow.
Where is it?
That's why I think, they really need to start looking at, or continue to look at.
He had a brain severely damaged, and it resembled the brain of an 85-year-old Alzheimer's patient.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
He was reported to have an advanced form of dementia similar to the brains of 4 retired NFL players who had suffered multiple concussions, sank into depression, and harmed themselves or others.
He probably never got tested for CTE because they didn't think about it at the time.
You
It's
gotta
only
remember,
become
this
a
was
much-
like before concussions were a big thing.
Yeah, because the concussions.
This
thing
was kind of
hasn't
one of
really
the
made
kicking off points for concussions.
Yeah, it hasn't really been made a big thing until about now.
Yeah.
Wrestling. Thing is, it's gotta have changed a lot since back in the day, though. Like, it's probably everything's improved, but
Oh, fuck that. The story in ring sucks now.
what?
You got fucking spot wrestlers. It's, I'm gonna get my shit in, you get your shit in, we'll end the match.
Oh, I'm not saying necessarily that it's any better of a product. I'm just saying, to some sort of safety concerns, seems like most things have kind of.
I don't know, CM Punk almost died of a staph infection that went untreated. That's why he quit.
Oh wow.
That's one of the reasons why he quit.
Jeez.
And that doctor is trying to sue CM Punk for slander and defamation. Defamation.
I wonder what as far as defamation goes, like what type of stuff, because like I thought I've heard that defamation. You can't really be sued for defamation if you feel that something is true. Like that's what you believe, not necessarily that you are stating it based on like fact. Like if you think something's a fact, you know, or stating it as a fact, no, that's absolutely true. That can be considered defamation. Where it's, no, I believe this to be true. Now, semantics, but it seems weird. But so he got out of it due to that.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons.
Thing is, what was it? Was it a like the
He had
league's,
like he had a
league's
soft
doctor or
Yeah, it was WWE's head doctor.
jeez.
Head in-house doctor.
Definitely, I'm sure they have to have a few
Yes.
for all that stuff.
He also took a concussion test while listening to his listening with his to his music with his headphones on, and texting his friend. And he passed.
Who was the one wearing?
So
he was wearing.
CM Punk was doing all that.
Was wearing the headphones and texting.
Yes. And he passed a concussion test.
I don't know how you could be that distracted and pass a concussion test.
He did it.
That's. It's like, what's up with the Ric Flair? Is he out of the hospital? I don't remember.
Yes, he is out of the hospital.
He was
That is a huge thing that's going on in the shows right now, because his daughter Charlotte Flair is the women's champion.
Oh, really?
Yes. No, she's not the women's champion. She's number one contender to the women's championship
Oh.
since she returned. And yes, everybody is happy for her because her dad is out of the hospital.
Yeah, because he was doing pretty rough, wasn't he? For some reason, I've always liked Ric Flair.
I do have sad news in the wrestling business. Famed manager Bobby the Brain Heenan sadly passed away not too long ago.
Oh, yeah, I think I heard about that.
Yes. He is in a better place because he is no longer battling throat cancer. The one thing that pretty much made his career. And it's...
You know, it's so weird with the way cancers are. There's like so many different types of cancers now, and you're getting some advancements, but you're still like, it seems like anything you do can give you cancer.
Yeah.
And if you don't catch it soon enough, you're just kind of done.
Yeah.
Like it's no good.
But he lived a long life. He was 72 years old, so...
I mean, it's not terrible.
No.
It's definitely not terrible.
For most people in that profession, he lasted a long time.
And you know, the one thing I've always kind of thought of, I think is weird sometimes, is, you know, they talk about how unhealthy foods are nowadays. To a certain extent, processed.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm still alive and healthy. Then again, I haven't gone to a doctor, so...
Right. Well, you know, they talk about how it's, you know, processed foods and this and that, or they try to freak out about stuff, but I'm just thinking about looking at these, like...
Okay, you gotta understand, it's this thing called the news, and they're fearmongers.
It's true.
Okay.
I'm just thinking, I'm looking at these, like, 100-year-old people, and I'm like, these people had way less healthy stuff and working conditions, and they're living to 100, and you're like,
yeah.
Is what we have now really that bad?
Yeah.
Is it?
They had smoking on planes, and they're 100 years old. Let's be honest. Maybe we need to start smoking on planes.
Brilliant. Right. I don't know. The way you get kicked off flights nowadays. There's this one lady, I think, I just seen it. What's the news story?
The lady about the dog on the plane.
Yeah.
The woman who was deathly allergic but couldn't prove it.
Yeah, but couldn't prove it. Had no documentation, so she was forced off a Southwest flight.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Now it's just the media just throwing every airline under the bus for every little thing that they.
Well, there's
can
only 4
possibly.
airlines. Let's be honest.
Well, that's true. That's definitely true. But you're just like, now every single person that gets kicked off a plane is like, well, I better take this to the news so I can get something out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, interesting strategy. He seems to work out as far as companies concerned about bad publicity, but
Yeah.
why are you looking at that?
Oh. That's one encouraging black man to look at.
It looks like the same guy.
It is the same guy. Who is it, you racist?
Is that Montel Williams?
Yes! It's Montel Williams.
I'm not even sure what to say to that.
Oh, you're fine. Don't look at my laptop.
You're fine. You're fine. So The Office. Probably one of the funniest TV shows out there.
I don't know. I'm more of a Parks and Recs guy myself.
Aren't they from like the same creator?
I don't know, probably.
I think they are. They do. Thing is, they do kind of have a similar format.
They do, don't they?
Okay, this is just distracting now.
What?
Who?
I'm just watching it sound waves.
Oh no.
You chose this setup.
Oh, and I'm regretting it. Oh, it's terrible.
Hey man, it's like The Office. Happy birthday!
Oh, if this was The Office, I'd just be staring off into the camera. That's so unnecessary. That is so unnecessary.
There you go.
That guy.
Who is that guy? Come on, he's another black guy. Who is he?
I don't actually know what his name is.
Really? You don't know his name?
I wasn't sure if that was his real name or not.
You don't know who Terry Crews is?
Oh,
You've
well,
never
I've seen Terry Crews in many things, especially his Old Spice commercials.
Well, here he is with nothing but a basketball.
Ooh. Bold choice. Mm-hmm. That's I don't even.
As you were saying.
So literally you're just going to keep looking up.
I don't know what you're talking about, dude. You're over here talking about The Office.
And how it's pretty great. My favorite parts of The Office are the feuds between Jim and Dwight.
Okay.
Especially when Jim pranks Dwight.
Uh-huh.
Asian Jim. Probably one of the greatest moments on there.
Yeah, that is pretty funny.
The effort they put into that prank.
Mm-hmm.
That and the time that he shows up dressed as Dwight and just acts like Dwight the entire time.
Mm.
Identity theft is a real problem, Jim.
It is a real problem.
Okay. No. No, it's so not necessary.
Alright, I'm done. I closed out. You don't have to look at it anymore.
Doge.
I like Doge.
Doge your favorite meme?
I don't know. That one.
What do you like to play?
Doge.
Alternative facts.
You shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut up.
You are fake news.
I don't know what I did. I played them both.
Nice. I didn't even know that was a feature. Nice. Let's see what we got here.
Alternative facts.
Tear me apart, Lisa!
We are now just playing soundboards.
Yeah, let's do this.
What
You are
do you
fake
like
news.
to play?
Maybe we should put them all in a row.
Oh,
Yeah, and play them all at once. Obviously, this one will be the longest.
Are you asking me why people eat potatoes? I'm surprised you don't know, sir.
Why do people eat potatoes?
You know what, Jay? I have a question.
Yeah.
We're called PhantasmaCast, right?
Yeah.
Our spooky mascot are some phantoms.
Right.
Why aren't we talking about scary stuff?
Why do we never talk about scary stuff?
Why are we not talking about scary stuff?
Should we be talking about scary stuff every time?
Well, I mean, October starts tomorrow.
Well, we could. Scary
And you got to remember, at the end of October, it's the first ever 4-hour podcast.
4-hour podcast.
4-hour Phantasm podcast.
Yeah, it'll be pretty good. It'll be interesting. Try to talk lots of scary stuff. Try to talk lots of Comic-Con interactions and whatnot.
A local Comic-Con.
You know,
Just got to point that out.
Yeah, we're not.
We're not in San Diego now,
No.
making our own Comic-Cons.
Yeah, we don't got the big bucks or nothing, but.
No, we only paid $45 per ticket for 3 days.
Not bad. Pretty good value.
But again, maybe we should run down a schedule of what we might be doing for our 4-hour podcast. Maybe unveil a new show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Show.
Yeah?
I like that.
Maybe the super secret project.
Yes. Yes, I like this.
Maybe we announce that. Yeah.
Yeah. But.
Maybe we do something that Baby wants to do for once.
But isn't it super secret for a reason?
Well, that's Bigby's super secret project. I'm talking about a different super secret project.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe a new Bigby review will go up. Who knows?
Yeah.
I've been falling behind on that.
Yeah, I think we definitely need to expand.
We need to get our content out there more.
Yeah. This.
We have enough shows ideas that lined up for a week. We just don't have the manpower behind it to have the motivation to do it.
Yeah, I think we need to get more of our content going. Get a little bit of it moving. Stay tuned.
Maybe we might be seeing more Bigby streams every Saturday night.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Maybe move that to Wednesdays.
The streams to Wednesdays?
Move my stream uploads to Wednesdays.
Okay.
So it doesn't interfere with the upcoming show.
Right.
Unless we put that show on Fridays.
Okay.
Either way, that has to go on at nighttime.
Right.
One of those two slots. Maybe a Sunday. Depending on what we name it.
All right.
And then the rest we can work around it.
Yeah, I like that. So I'm thinking probably mid-October podcast, revealing rundown for our 4-hour podcast.
Maybe. Are we going to have 2 podcasts in October?
I think we can definitely do that.
I don't think that's going to happen.
No?
I'm going to be too busy watching Super Best Friends play Matt and Pat's Shitstorm of Scariness Season 6.
What the fuck?
All right, you know how I idolized these two guys named super best friends,
Oh,
Matt
okay, yeah.
and Pat.
Mm-hmm.
Their friend Wooly. He's a big black guy.
Okay, yeah.
He's cool. He likes anime. He's awesome. Well, every October for the past 6 years, they've done what they call the shitstorm of scariness. Or for their... How many days are in October? 31?
Yes, I believe so.
For 31 days, they play one horror game per day.
Interesting.
Season 3 kind of sucked because they did a week, because they did 3 separate weeks of 3 whole games. And then the final week they did the one-offs.
Oh, but now it's one-offs? Or...
Well, that was the only season they did it.
Oh,
Last season was season 5. That one I'm not really acclimated with. My favorite season is season 2.
what's special about season 2?
No, and I find better content in that one.
Mm.
I like that one the best.
Horror games. How many is there out there?
Okay, let me tell you this. They're going on to season 6. Okay?
Right, that's true.
They don't repeat. Except season 3. When they did 3 full ones.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a lot of games.
Yeah.
Is that one of your favorite style of games, or just interesting to see?
Well, I like watching survival horror. It's very interesting to watch someone play it. I mean, I can't fucking do it. I'm too fucking scared.
Some of those games, they can be pretty bad.
Yeah. Like, you own a fucking PlayStation, but you never fucking download PT.
PT.
It was meant to be Silent Hills.
Oh.
And then Hideo Kojima got fired from Konami.
Hmm.
And then he took Guillermo del Toro and Norman Reedus and made a different game.
Nice.
Where Norman Reedus is naked and holding a baby. That was just the trailer.
Well then.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Might not have been a baby. It might have been a fetus.
Doesn't make it any better.
What is that game? Hideo Kojima new game. There we go. Let's look that up. Death Stranding.
What?
Yeah, it's got Norman Reedus and
Norman Reedus.
and I think all the creature designs are by Guillermo del Toro.
To be honest, I don't know who most of those people are.
Well, Norman Reedus is Daryl from Walking Dead.
Yeah, I know who Norman Reedus is.
Hideo Kojima, he created Metal Gear series.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's naked and holding a baby. And Guillermo del Toro directed Pacific Rim, Pan's Labyrinth, and the upcoming movie Shape of Water.
Pacific Rim. Okay.
Yeah, like my second favorite movie ever.
It's a pretty good movie.
It is. However, recently I watched a movie that recently came out on Blu-ray and DVD, and I gotta say, it almost knocked Pacific Rim down to the number 3.
What movie was it?
I recently watched Kong Skull Island, and let me tell you,
Was that
I
good?
am a Godzilla fanboy, but I got a rager for Kong now.
So was that good, huh?
Kong Skull Island is everything Godzilla should have been. Godzilla 2014 should have been. Let's leave it at that.
Now, you are a Godzilla fan. I haven't really seen a lot of the films. Is there really a really good one? Are they... No.
Well...
I mean...
There are so many Godzilla films.
Yeah.
It's basically like what kind of like
Like, what are you looking for in a Godzilla film?
it's hard. I have to use. I'm gonna have to use wrestling terminology for this.
Okay.
All right, it's easy to point this out. You got Godzilla. You got your main event player. You got his whole cast of other characters.
Right.
Which feud do you want to see?
Right.
Do you want to see him face? Do you want to see him heel? Do you want to see him by himself against the humans? Or do you want to go all crazy like, what is it? I think it's Final Wars? Shit. Yes, Godzilla Final Wars.
Yeah.
I think that's the one where he knocks the American Godzilla one out in like one hit.
There's an American Godzilla.
Yeah, it's called Zilla. Remember the movie with Matthew Broderick?
Oh,
Or it was in New York?
Right.
Yeah, that piece of shit movie.
That's the thing is, I've seen that. I haven't really seen much else, and I'm like, is there a really good Godzilla movie, or is it, like you said, just basically if you're looking for a certain matchup? But even then, is there anyone that's really that good? Or have they really not made that great of Godzilla movie yet?
Well, there's Godzilla 1954, which is the natural disaster thing. You know, the natural disaster story.
Right.
And then we have to go through the 60s and 70s, like 60s era, which is the campy Godzilla stuff. You know, that goofy all stuff.
Okay.
And then 70s is when, like, I want to say 70s is when we start getting into most of the main versus stuff.
Oh, okay. Yep.
You know? And there is one that's, like, trippy as fuck, though. I think it's Godzilla vs. Hedorah. And that one's just, I think that one's the fucking, like, LSD trip. Is what the director did while he was making that one. Yeah, Godzilla vs. the Smog Monster. I own that one. I haven't watched it. But I own it.
How many of those do you own versus...
Let's see, I buy a lot of them in the double packs.
Right, well, the thing is, that's kind of the way they sell a lot of those, it seems like.
Yeah.
You got the variety, whatever. You don't necessarily get too many that are just by themselves unless you look them up or whatever.
I know I have Godzilla vs. Hedorah, and I think Godzilla vs. Gigan. I have Godzilla vs. Biolante. That's a standalone. I have Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2. I think. No. I don't have any of the Mechagodzilla ones. I have Space Godzilla. Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla and Godzilla vs. Destroyer.
Space Godzilla?
Yeah.
Like, what even is that?
It's Godzilla from space. Yeah.
Like, how does it come... How does it even come into play? He just falls from the sky and fights them? Like...
I also have Godzilla 2000. I have Godzilla 2014. I have Godzilla vs. King Kong. And King Kong Escapes, the sequel to that. And I'm surprised I don't have any King Ghidorah or Mothra ones. But yeah, I think that's it. I do want to get Godzilla Resurgence or Shin Godzilla. It came out last year.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the most recent.
Yeah, it's the most recent.
He
looks fucking phenomenally badass in this one. I mean, just look at that.
So that's that newest one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's the newest look.
It's interesting. Seems a little bit sort of throwback.
It is.
Versus some of the other ones that have been recently.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Godzilla's always been a guy in a suit.
Right.
Kind of guy. Because Japan cares.
Now, with King Kong Skull Island, is that the most recent one?
Kong Skull Island, yes.
Yeah, okay.
It's the only Kong action movie.
What do you mean?
Like, there's only been 3 King Kong movies.
Okay.
Like the
Mhm.
one in the early, I want to say like 50s, 40s or 50s.
Okay.
There was one in the 70s, I think. And then there was the Peter Jackson one. And they all told the same story.
Okay. Yeah.
Just the 8th wonder of the world.
Right.
And now, this whole movie takes place on Skull Island. You know, no going to New York or anything like that. It's everybody's just on Kong's playing field.
That actually just automatically sounds like a more interesting movie than...
And trust me, Kong is a fucking badass in this movie.
Well, I mean, shouldn't he be? Like, shouldn't he be?
Yeah.
Now, how were the Kong versus Godzilla things?
I
Any
have
good?
actually yet to watch it, quite honestly. I mean, gotta realize it came out in the 60s, but, you know.
Oh, 60s.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes it's hard for me to get into older movies. Like, sometimes they're good, but...
Don't you like James Bond?
I do. I do.
See?
And I mean, they do have good older ones.
See?
So, I mean... Now, with your collections of movies,
Mm-hmm.
which one are you looking to finish up first, as far as what you've collected the entire thing from, and then where are you going?
Alright. First thing I'm going to finish up, most definitely, Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th.
I am super close to finishing that one. And I believe that is 10 movies.
10 movies? Okay.
I believe that is movies. Because I own 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8.
So you need
And the remake. So, oh, and I own 10, so I need 1 and 9.
Is one pretty rare?
No.
No, I just haven't found it, or...
I just want it to, like... I just want the cover to fit in with the other ones I have. You know?
Oh, because they have, different covers on
Yeah.
them.
Like
So
my
you're just
Jason...
looking for a specific one.
Yeah. Like my Jason X one is one I'm kind of upset about. I am actually really upset that Jason X isn't in the Friday the 13th video game. I know it's fucking stupid to complain about, but if they can have Jason from the New Blood part 7 in that game, why the fuck can't they have Space Jason? I want Space Jason.
Now, which game are you talking about? Are you talking about the one that you can play with your friends?
Friday the 13th, the game.
Is that the one you can play with your friends? One plays as...
Yeah.
One plays as the guy and the other work as a team, but they can actually only talk.
If they're in
If
close
they're-
proximity, yes. Or they have a walkie-talkie.
Oh, right.
Yes.
That looks like a pretty sweet game. That looks like something I would like to play.
Yeah, just don't play it at launch, like I did.
Did you really?
Yes, playing that game at launch is cancer.
Oh, yeah.
You want to know why?
What is that?
Fucking 30-minute wait times
Oh, fuck. What the hell?
for everyone.
30-minute wait times. Forget it. I'm not... There's no way I'm playing that.
Like,
when it
every
comes
time
to
you'd
it.
get in, everybody would be like, thank fucking God I finally got into a party.
Thing is, when did it launch?
When did it launch? I got it for the Xbox One.
Because you'd hope it'd be getting better by now, unless it's just
Yeah,
launched last week.
it released back in May.
Oh, so it's been out for a while now. You'd think
Yeah.
hopefully it's a little bit better.
Yeah.
Because a 30-minute wait time? Forget it. No way. No way.
That was
I'm
like
waiting
for the
there.
first week, and then it started going down to about roughly 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah, 'cause see, 4 or 5 minutes, that's pretty much what you should be able to expect with any game.
But
At least after it's been
But
out
here's
for a
the thing:
while.
it did this weird thing where if you were in a party, it prioritized your party into putting it into a lobby, other than a single person.
Oh,
Because
so,
if you're a single person, it'll put you in a lobby, and then it'll take you out, put like a group in there, and then. So it's weird how their lobby system works. It like rearranges
that
things.
kind of sounds like it sucks.
Yeah. It's better to be the host, as well,
Yeah.
because you get host advantage.
Thing is, it did seem like a pretty sweet game, though.
It
You
did.
get over those hurdles.
Yeah. I mean, it really is fucking fun.
Nice.
It's harder than shit to play as Jason sometimes, but other than that, it's still a fun game.
I think there's a lot of advantages to being Jason, though, isn't there? I mean,
What?
you can move a lot faster.
Well,
or
Jason has his,
transport or whatever.
yeah, he has this teleport power, which you use it, and you basically get like 3 seconds of like an infinite sprint. Like you turn invisible and you infinitely sprint around, and you can go up behind people or something. However, he is broken because his grab kills are like almost instant. Like you grab someone, 2 seconds to react, boom, they're dead. Especially if you have a break free mechanic in that, it's kind of pointless.
Thing is, with that, I mean, is it hard as shit to play as the people then?
No. Well, it all depends on who you're with.
Right. I mean,
Because you can get in groups where everybody gets killed off because they're being dumb. Or you get groups where it's like, hey, we got everything done. Let's go.
because that seems like that would be the easier part as long as you had a good group.
Mm-hmm.
Would be the amount
My
of
team
people.
killed once.
As Jason?
That's the counselors. That's the only way you can team kill.
Oh, right.
Goddamn dumbass right in front of the car while I was driving away to the exit. Made me lose 200 XP.
Oh my god.
And then in the next fucking game, he was like, I'll fix the car. I got ran over last time. It's like, it was a 2-seater car anyway. Alright? You ran right in front of it. I had no time to react.
That's just so great.
It was literally a commercial for not texting and driving.
Oh my gosh, that reminds me of South Park. That's literally one of the things they're doing.
Oh.
Texting and driving is one of their things for this season.
Oh, don't tell me. I have to catch up.
It's great. It's great. Yeah, I actually was like behind by 2 weeks worth of episodes, and I just watched them recently.
Back to my movie topics. We never really finished where I was going with that.
No.
All right. After I finish Friday the 13th, my next goal is to finish the Halloween series.
Halloween.
Because for the Halloween series, oh geez, what movies do I own for that one?
Thing is,
How the fuck do you spell Halloween?
I don't know. No, does anybody know?
Okay. Halloween movie list. I recently bought 1.
Okay.
I own 2. I have Season of the Witch. I don't think I own 4 or 5. I own Curse of Mike Myers, Halloween H2O, Resurrection, and sadly, the 2 Rob Zombie remakes.
Does that leave you with only 1 you need for that?
I need 4 and 5.
Oh, okay. So actually, what, you're down to 2 and 2
for those 2? Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Now, I've always known you as a Godzilla fan.
Mm-hmm.
Yet you seem just kind of more interested in the horror movies to finish up first, or some of the main series, or.
Well, to be honest, I like one of my big things in movies. Like my favorite movies are not always particularly good. My top 5 favorite things in movies. Just gonna name it off right now. Number 1, thing that always gets me. Robots. Giant robots. I love giant robots. Pacific Rim. I love it.
Giant robots. Well, yeah, real steel.
Number 2, boxing. Real steel.
Yeah. Plus giant robots.
Plus giant robots.
So.
Robot boxing. That Real Steel is my number 1 movie. I don't care how fucking terrible it is. It's the best fucking movie ever made.
Yeah,
and then there's also movies like The Fighter and Cinderella Man, which are great character piece movies.
Okay, yeah.
Like, based on true stories. I like those.
What do you think of the rest?
Plus, you can't go bad with a Rocky flick, you know?
Right. That's true.
All right, number 3. Giant monsters.
Giant monsters.
Pacific Rim. Godzilla.
Yep.
King Kong. Gamera. Ultraman. You don't know who those last 2 are.
No.
That's okay. Number 4. Scary movies. Horror movies. I own a lot of horror movies. Probably more than I ever thought I would. If you asked me 10 years ago, how many horror movies would you own? I'd be like, none. Horror movies are dumb. And now I'm like, you need more horror movies, man. You need that more horror movies.
No, I'm just curious. What is the appeal from people on horror movies? Like, why do people like horror movies so much? Because I'm like, nah. I don't understand.
See, you and I are 2 different people, and me and everybody else are 2 different people. So that's not a question to ask me because I'm an aspiring film director, and you know, I just
so what you
to me I see low budget dreams.
Okay.
I see practical effects. You know, makeup, prosthetics,
Right.
things that look real. Number 5, stupid movies. Stupidly bad movies, you know? Like I'm talking like nothing from The Asylum. No, fuck those guys. I'm talking shit like a trauma movie. Like The Toxic Avenger or Poultrygeist. Shit that's over the top. Like, just so fucking over the top it's meant to be over the top.
Yeah.
Alright. But I think the appeal for horror movies, for a guy like me, is there's something unique in fear, you know?
Right.
Like, we don't want to be afraid, but a way we deal with that is to... I don't know how to say it, but... Like, some people are addicted to fear. It's like a drug. And scary movies can do a lot. They can also mean a lot of things. You know? Or it could be because people want to see death.
That's the more weird answer. That's the more weird answer, but I feel like that's true for a lot of people.
Okay, as I grow up, as I've known to grow up, I put myself more in the shoes of the killer than I do the teens, because teenagers are annoying, and I want to kill them sometimes. Does that make me a killer?
I wouldn't
I mean,
say
I
so.
do need to buy more lime, but, you know,
Right.
and another shovel, but, you know, that's neither here nor there.
It's like, I want people to love me, but I also want people to fear me. I want actually people to fear how much they love me.
What?
Nothing? Really?
No.
The Office?
No.
Oh.
No.
I understand on that, though. Teens are annoying.
All right. I do want to talk about the movie collections I have finished.
Oh, okay.
You know, back on the topic since we keep spinning off of that. Because we don't want to talk about my movie collection because we keep spinning off.
Actually, I like the spin-offs. It's interesting content.
All right. Series I have completed.
Okay.
I have... Shit, I don't have that one completed.
Oh.
The first one I was going to name off. I just realized
Ooh.
I'm missing 2 movies.
Ooh.
All right.
Not a great start.
All right. I need Prometheus and Alien Covenant. And then I have that one complete.
Oh, okay. Yep.
All right. I got to add number 6 to my list. Anything with a Predator. Predator is like the best fucking movie ever made.
Okay, yeah.
I own all 3 Predator movies. I own I own both Alien versus Predator movies.
Right.
I haven't seen Requiem. I know it's bad,
I mean,
but I just bought them for the Predators.
really,
I don't give a shit about anything else. I just wanted to see the Predator.
Most movie franchise stuff like that, they always have a bad movie. At least one.
I own all of Rocky, including Creed, the spinoff.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I own most of the Fast and the Furious. Stopped at 5, so I need 6, 7, and 8.
Fast and the Furious.
Shit. What else?
That's like, I still love the Fast and the Furious movies,
Mm-hmm.
but going back and watching some of the older ones and even some of the new ones, you're just like,
Mm-hmm.
I understand how bad these are now.
Mhm.
Actually.
I own all of Nightmare on Elm Street.
I'm on Elm Street. Oh, yeah.
I own all of the Dark Knight trilogy. That's a trilogy, not a franchise, though.
God, there's a lot of Batman movies.
Shit, what else do I own? I own the original Universal monster movies. The original Dracula, the original Frankenstein, the original Wolfman, the original Bride of Frankenstein, the original Mummy, the original Invisible Man, and the original Creature from the Black Lagoon. Black Lagoon. My favorite's the Invisible Man.
Those are the really interesting ones. The original,
Yeah,
that stuff. Because, like, when you think about, you know, it's going to be October, and you think about Halloween,
mm-hmm.
at least for, I think...
I don't know that one.
Shut up.
do you mind? Seriously. Fuck.
That's what you were saying.
But I just think, like, for people at least our age or older, you know, that's what you think about sort of when you thought about either dressing up or you thought about Halloween, you thought about...
Yeah, when you were a kid, that's like because that was the parody stuff.
Yeah.
That's what everybody knows.
Yep.
And I know Universal they still bank on them. They still want them to do stuff.
Right.
But have you heard of the Dark Universe? Universe cinematic movies?
I feel like I may have heard of them, yes.
Dark Universe it was supposed to start with Dracula the Untold Story.
Okay.
And be I, Frankenstein, and then the recent Mummy.
Oh, right.
It's supposed to be like Marvel Cinematic Universe, DC Cinematic Universe, but with the Universal original monsters.
Okay, yep.
So like a Dracula movie and a Frankenstein movie, and they have crossover movies. The Wolfman movie, Invisible Man, Dr. Jekyll, I'm sorry, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. You're pondering something.
Yeah, I'm like,
What is your problem?
is that the real pronunciation? Or
Yes,
are
it
they-
is.
So that they've always messed it up.
Except in the very first movie of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Otherwise, they've fucked it up ever since.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because that's where I'm like,
I said Jekyll and Hyde, and you're like, wait, what?
but the thing is, I didn't think you said it wrong. I thought,
Because you heard me say Jekyll and Hyde, and then you were like, wait, what?
yeah, I'm thinking, okay. So this sounds like this could be the right thing that started, and that they just never righted the ship.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's kind of sad.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like that the little bit younger generation than us now,
Are just having creepypasta horror movie icons.
yeah, where
Like-
it's not the original monsters anymore.
No.
When you talk about those, none of those kids know what any of that is.
I mean, they might know Dracula and Frankenstein.
But even then, I feel like they've just that type of stuff's kind
No,
of
they know
gone away.
vampires and werewolves.
Yeah,
Because of Twilight.
well, sparkly vampires.
Yes. And wolves. Dire wolves.
Yeah. It's sad.
See, alright, I'm actually going to pitch a movie. Right
Okay.
now. Right now. I'm going to pitch the very first movie they should make for the Dark Universe.
What do you got?
Dracula. Right?
Dracula. Okay.
Dracula. Alright, we're starting with Dracula. It's going to be a horror movie. For sure.
Right.
It's going to be set, late 1800s or early 1900s, that
Okay,
time
yep,
there.
Yep.
Transylvania. The entire movie's going to take place in two locations, Transylvania and Castle Dracula.
Okay. Yep. Well, where's the other one then? It's not in Transylvania.
What do you mean?
The Castle Dracula.
Castle Dracula overlooks Transylvania.
Oh, okay. Well, you was just like two locations,
How-
and then you listed
how-
those. I'm like,
Yes, you list off every location for your movie.
right.
Like your house, my house,
Oh,
our neighborhood, the road.
the road.
Okay, back to my movie.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, it's going to start in a tavern. This is a rough outline, all right?
Right.
I've thought about this multiple times. It's going to start out in a tavern. We're going to have Van Helsing, Vampire Hunter D, a man named Al, and I just want to do like a nod to the Castlevania series,
Okay.
and by putting like a Noah Belmont, because the main protagonist of the Castlevania series is a part of the Belmont family, and if you know anything about Castlevania, it's all about trying to kill Dracula.
Right.
So add the Belmont in there. So we're starting off with 4 vampire hunters, right?
Yeah.
Because I want it to be known that something's not right with Castle Dracula, and everybody knows that. That's why these hunters all came here.
Right.
They came here separately, all answering the call from one Al, the man who calls himself Al.
Okay.
All right. And then they make a journey on foot to Castle Dracula, scope it out and everything.
Right. Yep.
Check it out, see what's going on, see any bats, see any, making their traps. And I want it to set up to where you think that Vampire Hunter D is Dracula,
Yep.
So everybody starts questioning, like, why aren't you holding a cross with your bare hands? Why don't you ever look at mirrors around you so people can think,
Yeah.
And then they get in there, they get into Castle Dracula, and they're immediately split apart to hunt Dracula down. But they're faced with a bunch of thralls, Dracula's minions.
Okay.
One of them claims that he is Dracula, though. Claims he is Dracula.
Right. Seems like
And the hunters get picked off. We start with the Belmont, just to get him out of there. Al, who was with Belmont, disappears. He's not killed.
Okay.
He just disappears.
They tend to do that.
And then, so we have Van Helsing and Vampire Hunter D together. And Dracula, quote unquote, pits them against each other. You know, because that Dracula is dead, or he gets stabbed by Van Helsing. And, you know, killing the main vampire should kill all the other vampires and whatnot.
Right.
So why would Vampire Hunter D not be the one to strike the final blow?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he's Dracula.
True.
Maybe he's not. So then we have Van Helsing kill Vampire Hunter D by accident. But then all these vampire thralls start.
I put Annalise on your shopping list.
Did I just put something on your shopping list?
Hey, settle down over there.
You might want to check your shopping list after this.
Well, yeah.
You know, and then
look at this.
And then Van Helsing and Al reunite in the dungeons where they reconnect, you know. And then they're making their way back up to the foyer to run out, get out of there, try and, because they want to build an army to storm Castle Dracula. But they're pinned up against the walls with like roughly 10 to 20 vampire minions surrounding them. And Al is back up against the wall. Van is standing, I'd say roughly 5 feet in front of him. And that's when we reveal that Al's real name is Alucard. Or Dracula, spelled backwards.
Ooh.
And he was really set this whole thing up to kill the vampire hunters.
I like the twist.
However, with Dracula the way he is, I want him to just cut off like Van Helsing's left hand and shove him out the door. Because I need a hero. We need a hero through this.
Yeah.
And Van Helsing is the monster guy.
Yep.
And then we set up, and then we got Dracula predominantly portrayed as a huge horror movie guy. You know, he's smart, he's manipulative, he can get you like that. You know? And then my second movie in the universe would be The Wolfman. Straight up werewolf slasher flick. I'm talking like hard R, almost NC-17 gore level.
Intense.
Yes, intense. And then the third one in that, Dracula versus the Wolfman.
Ooh.
And we
I like
find
that.
out that the Frankenstein's monster is in a chamber in Dracula's castle. Like he was frozen and preserved.
What?
Like Dracula had him the whole time.
That would be sweet.
So Dracula meanwhile, in this whole movie, Dracula versus the Wolfman, Dracula gets his ass kicked by the wolf. Because the wolf is more agile. He's smarter.
Yeah.
He can grab the bat and he just throws him down. And then Dracula unleashes Frankenstein and it's a fair fight. I don't know how that one would end. But, you know, that'd be like the first Avengers kind of thing. That'd be phase 1.
And then is that something that then you could go back and say, well, then here's how Frankenstein got here?
Well,
or would you just kind of leave that at that?
Well, here's what I would do. I'd say that Those first 3 movies would be Phase 1.
Okay.
Phase 2, we could add like the Frankenstein movie somewhere in there. Frankenstein can be a prequel.
Yeah.
It can fit anywhere. It can be in Phase 1 or it can be in Phase 2. But Phase 2, I want to focus more on starting with the Invisible Man, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. First movie.
Yep.
You know, just like start with the Invisible Man. You know, it's just same time period. And he's lab assistant with Dr. Jekyll. And it's kind of a nod. But the Invisible, like, before the Invisible Man becomes invisible, he'll say, hey, why don't you just go speak with this man I met over... I honestly can't remember where Frankenstein takes place, but over where Frankenstein is. And he says, head over to this location. It's called Castle Frankenstein. There is a man there named Victor Frankenstein. Tell him I sent you. He will help you. And then Jekyll goes there, learns from Victor Frankenstein. We want a young Dr. Jekyll for this, you know, because I want the last one to be Jekyll and Hyde at the end of Phase 2.
So you're pretty much getting it versus every phase.
Well,
or at least the first couple.
The first one, I want the main 3 guys in there.
Right.
You want the main 3. You know, it's kind of like those 3 movies are building up to Dawn of Justice.
Right.
Except those 3 are going to be fighting each other.
Yep.
The second phase is more along the lines of the guys who are just scientists. You know?
Oh, that makes
sense. Because also I want to throw the Mummy into Phase 2. I would throw the Mummy into Phase 2 along there.
Okay.
And Phase 3 is when we get a little bit more of those guys intertwining in their stories a lot more. And we get introduced to the creature from the Black Lagoon. Mm-hmm. The only reason I put him so far late is because he was the last. He was about 20 years behind everybody else. I believe he was made in the early 50s when everybody else was made in the 30s.
Nice.
And quite honestly, I only want the Creature from the Black Lagoon to be directed by Guillermo del Toro because I want him to create the Creature from the Black Lagoon because he'd make a great, phenomenal Fishman.
Okay, yep.
You know? But that would be my rough draft for the Dark Universe. Start off with, suspenseful thriller Dracula. Extreme gore fest with Wolfman. A fight. Complete tonal shift with scientists, with the Invisible Man being number 1 in Phase 2. You know, just follow the basic formula. Basically, right. It's a short story. It's easily adaptable. I mean, all it is Invisible Man goes crazy with power.
Right.
Mad scientist story. There you go. Maybe put the Frankenstein prequel in there.
Yeah.
To where the monster was created.
Right.
And then we'd get what do I want there? What do I want there? I'd say we'd put...
Would you put the Mummy in there?
I would put the Mummy there. Yes, I would put the Mummy there next. And then I would put... Because I want to get... Then I would put the Victor Frankenstein Dr. Jekyll.
Okay.
I mean, that story in there. And we can go back to Victor using Jekyll to help him get his monster out of Dracula's clutches with the help of Van Helsing. So that way we can loop back to those 3 because, you know, we're kind of left on a hanger with those guys.
Yep.
And Frankenstein's monster is under the control of Dracula. And then For the final part of Phase 2, we get Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And then, after that, Mr. Hyde meets the Invisible Man. The Mummy versus Frankenstein. See, for Phase 3, we can put all our versus movies up there.
Right.
Because we have all the stories set up.
And I definitely like that you will set up some where something can get introduced.
Mm-hmm.
But then you don't really have the story on that. So then you want to have the story, and then you can bring that in later.
Mm-hmm. Like that's why I want it to go Dracula, Wolfman, and then Dracula versus the Wolfman. Or, yeah, we'll call him the Wolfman. Because, the big reveal in the Wolfman is, Batman versus Superman. It's Doomsday. Except it's our Frankenstein.
Yeah.
So everybody's asking, why is Frankenstein in Castle Dracula? That doesn't make sense. Where would Dracula have found this guy?
Yeah, exactly.
And that leaves on a cliffhanger, and when we go with the story of the scientists, the men in this world. And then, we're introduced to, the Invisible Man, Frankenstein. We get introduced to the Mummy. And we can have the Mummy versus Creature from the Black Lagoon in his, at the end of the Black Lagoon.
Okay, yeah.
They transport the sarcophagus to America for a museum. And, they're also excavating fossils over in a lake, the Black Lagoon.
All right.
Interrupt the creature. Creature comes out, starts wreaking havoc. So those two are in the same contained universe. You are tired as fuck, aren't you?
Huh?
I can see you are tired as fuck.
Well, I've been up for 22 hours straight right now, so...
How long?
22 hours.
What? Nah. I've been up longer.
Yeah, you probably have.
Alright. But here are the main verses I'd want to get out of the Dark Universe. As stated prominently, Dracula versus Wolfman. Insert Frankenstein in there. Tertiary character. Invisible Man versus Mr. Hyde. I think that would be a great matchup. Mm. The monster in man versus the monster you can't see in man.
I also really like just kind of your progression of what you decided to start with.
Uh-huh.
Dracula, Wolfman. I think that was really good laying the groundwork. And then I like going to the scientists and then going through that. I mean, I think a lot of that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And interesting as far as the story goes.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Frankenstein versus Dracula. I want that in there too. Mummy versus Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Which I like your point on that. It'd be an interesting story.
I would love to see Invisible Man versus Wolfman. That would be a little interesting to me because Wolfman wouldn't be able to use his sight. He'd only have to be able to smell.
But you think, though, he would have pretty decent smell, though, right?
Yes.
So you're like,
yes.
Okay. Not completely outmatched here.
But that makes the scientist have to think, how does he beat the beast?
Right, because then you can start thinking, well, how does he mask smell?
And then at the end, just this is stupid, never would happen. I'd want a fucking huge just monster bash. Everybody versus everybody.
The tough part
a battle royale.
The tough part would be, how do you make that work?
Exactly. That's why I said never gonna happen. Big schmoz at the end. Boom. Battle royale.
Because some of your stuff, already, with your matchups. Like they're
all pretty even.
You could make them even, and you could easily see their stories melding together.
Mm-hmm.
But like getting them all together, you're like, how do you even make them connect?
Yeah,
because they're like all in different areas, really.
Yeah,
where like your
because Jekyll and Hyde and the Invisible Man would be in Europe. Wolfman, Dracula, Frankenstein are all in Transylvania, and then My Mummy, Black Lagoon, that one's in America. That's, yeah, that does. Well, I could get Jekyll Hyde back into Transylvania, just because of the whole Victor Frankenstein thing. So, and
that would be pretty easy.
Invisible Man could follow him, like Hyde is running back to the man who helped him.
Yeah.
To get more of the potion to turn him into Mr. Hyde.
Yep.
So Invisible Man could follow.
I mean, yeah, the ones in Europe going to Transylvania seems like that's a pretty easy move over. I mean,
and then
with the Mummy,
and Creature from the Black Lagoon, those guys can be tranquilized and sent to a museum in Europe, and then
the Mummy seems like the best one. The Creature from the Black Lagoon. Now that seems like. You could tranquilize it, but that's going to be I think the hardest one to really move or make a story for.
Yeah. Can't really move the Aquaman around.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I think his story is based in Africa.
Is it?
I don't really know. It's either Africa or South America. He's not one I really watched that much. I didn't pay attention through his story. Like I said, I watched The Invisible Man a lot more.
Yeah, they have a good one.
Because The Invisible Man has this awesome image of that I think would be great to be re-seen like in modern day. I just saw it. Like the first time I saw that happening on screen, that scared the shit out of me. No, I saw it last year. I was like, that alone is terrifying. Like,
actually, now that I think about it, isn't this sort of
Hollow Man? Yes.
To the presence. Well, no, I was thinking.
Oh.
League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Yes, but this is better.
Right.
Because it won't make Sean Connery quit acting.
I don't know.
League of Extraordinary Gentlemen made Sean Connery quit acting.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Weirdly, though, I like that movie.
It's not that bad of a flick.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's terrible.
No, not at all.
But, it's kind of like that, though, because you have your Invisible Man.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of have your Dracula.
Yeah.
You have, Jekyll and Hyde.
Jekyll Hyde.
Don't know if you have much else, though, because kind of the other ones are not really.
Yeah. You have Sean Connery, you have Arab guy.
Yeah, I forget.
You have Seven from WCW. That was Goldust's character.
Oh.
I think it was WCW. Yes. Tell me that does not look like the dude.
It does.
It does. It's Seven.
Oh, man.
That's Goldust. It looks like the Invisible Man from League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
So League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, they had an Invisible Man. They had 2 sharpshooters.
Yeah.
They had a pirate.
Mm-hmm.
Which had lots of technology, I guess.
Mm.
Then you had your one Dracula type, the woman. Then you had the other one who just doesn't age or doesn't die?
I don't know. It's been a long time since I saw that movie.
I'm like, I don't really know what your character is. It's because of that you know, that painting or whatever.
Oh my god.
Where he doesn't age or something, but does he also not die? I don't know. And then what's the other?
I forgot a main element of my Dark Universe.
What?
Very first movie. I forgot my hero. Where do I put the Van Helsing movie in?
Shit.
Right? I have to have Van Helsing for someone.
Do you need that first?
No.
Could go back to it. Right?
We can always sprinkle a Van Helsing in there.
Do you still sprinkle that in phase 1 or?
Maybe to extend phase 1 out a bit more. Just put like
Would you do that after the verses or before the verses though?
before the verses, final movie before the verses. Van Helsing gets his hand fixed. Victor Frankenstein. Victor Frankenstein is like, yeah, this ain't my first time reattaching body parts, stitching body parts together. The last thing that happened is now no longer in my control.
Boom.
I don't know where he is.
Mine.
We had our falling out. Last I saw, he was in a burning mill. I don't know if he's alive or dead. I'd like to keep it that way.
That sounds awesome.
And then, climax, Dracula vs. Wolfman, Frankenstein reveal, mind blown.
That's good.
Story connects.
It's like I definitely like when the story connects.
And then we can always, I guess the next... See, we need verses in phase 2, though. You know, because we have Van Helsing.
Right.
And I guess we could have Van Helsing versus the Wolfman. Because the Wolfman, when he's a man, wants to kill himself to get the wolf out. So the wolf will die. He's kind of like the Hulk of our series, you know?
Okay.
But when he's with the wolf, he doesn't want to die. Wolfman is pretty much the main... Gonna try and make him the main guy. I don't know why I chose him. He just... Like, I want Dracula to be the significant badass.
Okay.
Because he's smart and manipulative. But in a fight against, like, the Wolfman, I think he would get his ass kicked. And I think it would just be great seeing Dracula, like, run away in fear and have to use his minions to help him.
I think it's... What makes you say, though, that you think that Dracula would get his ass kicked? In particular. Like, what?
Just because, like, I would set up Wolfman to be very dominant.
Oh, okay.
You know? I would make him, like... I would make him so strong that he could rip a man in half. Kind of thing, you know?
I like that.
And plus, you know, he has 2 hands to grab, and he can also just fucking chomp on something. If need be. Step on it and rip it apart.
That does sound pretty good.
He needs to be... He is the GOAT of my universe.
Yes.
Full circle.
Full circle. Here we go.
He is the GOAT of my universe. And I know Van Helsing is just mainly strictly for Dracula, but, you know, I need him to be my good guy. I need Victor Frankenstein to be my good guy. I need...
Because the thing is...
I do need good guys for everybody.
Was Victor Frankenstein really ever that bad of a guy?
He was a gravedigger.
Well, yeah.
Not really, no. He was just a man who wanted to play God.
Because, I mean, besides the gravedigger part...
I just want to point out, I'm completely omitting Frankenstein's movie. Why? Because making a modern Frankenstein movie would be terrible. Like, adapting Mary Shelley's Frankenstein into a modern movie. Like, you'd have to do Victor Frankenstein's story, and then the monster story, and then back to Victor Frankenstein. Like the book.
Right.
And I just don't think that would work. for this. That's why I want Helsing. I do want Helsing to have his own movie, you know. Maybe like a Rocky 2 kind of movie.
Okay.
Where he was beat, but this time he faces off against a lower threat. Maybe we can have him kill off the son of Dracula.
Thing is, would you have like an origin story? Are you talking about prior to anything, or
No.
no?
I want each character to be mysterious. You know?
It's not.
Dracula.
It's necessary.
You know, Dracula, my Dracula movie, complete mystery. I didn't even tell you Al was Dracula. He's just a weird name out.
Yep.
That's all I told you. And I chose him to be Dracula because I want 3 different vampire hunters and, you know, their suitor.
I just think it's gonna.
I think it's easier to start a story in the middle.
Right. No, I think so too.
That's why all the zombie movies are phenomenal. Because they take place in the middle. You never see the actual outbreak.
That's true. Yeah. Everything as far as zombie related, you never see an outbreak really.
Yeah. My thing is, I know Jack the Ripper ain't part of the Dark Universe, but I would like to have a Jack the Ripper movie in there.
Sprinkle it in.
Yeah. But at the same time, I'd rather have like Jack the Ripper be like a Zodiac kind of movie, where it's mainly focused on like the police at the time.
Right.
I'd also like that for like the Black Dahlia case.
Yeah. It just seems
Just
like
have,
it
like,
makes more sense
yeah.
that way.
Yeah. I really want like a Zodiac version of the Black Dahlia case. That would be interesting to me. Just like a 1950s era detective story. Or, I mean, like, late 40s style detective story.
Yeah.
You know. I think that would be a great movie.
Jack the Ripper.
But
Could you get a versus with him?
with Jack the Ripper?
Yeah.
I don't think so because his character would be so mysterious. And the only one that would work would be, like, Mr. Hyde.
Yeah.
Unless, you know,
Yeah.
unless I make Mr. Hyde Jack the Ripper. But I don't like that. I don't like the sound of that.
No.
Because, I mean, that'd technically be Dr. Jekyll as Jack the Ripper, you know?
Which would be.
Because Dr. Jekyll's more of the surgical type.
Right.
But at the same time, I'd want to take a different spin on Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde.
Like, what do you mean?
Like, if I could make a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde movie out of the universe, I would make Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde more of a court case kind of movie.
What do you mean?
Like, Dr. Jekyll is on trial for the things that Mr. Hyde did.
Oh.
But Jekyll has no recollection of what Mr. Hyde did. But everybody can point out that, yes, that is the man who did it.
Interesting.
And then, you know, it's recalling all the nights, everything that happened that night. And they're like, Dr. Jekyll, we're going to have to ask you, can you please recreate this vial and drink it for everybody in the courtroom to see? Boom, Mr. Hyde shows up. Starts trying to kill everybody in the room. Like, I think I'd like to see a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde movie like that. Just because it's different.
Yeah. I think the hard part with remaking or doing movies like this is, where do you find your limits on effects and what you decide to do with it? Because sometimes it seems like when they go and remake stuff or, you know, try to do something different, they just go too over the top because they think, wow, we have all this technology now. We can do all these special effects.
I honestly think that, like, it'd have, like, Dracula would be totally practical. Clearly.
Yep.
Just have guys in suits for, like, the vampire minions. Wolfman. Wolfie's gotta be CGI.
Yeah.
Just,
Which I think you could do and
Yeah.
be tasteful. I'm just saying, you know.
Frankenstein, he's practical.
Yep.
Invisible Man, he has to be CGI.
Yep.
Because no other way to do it. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, he can be practical. Just put some special effects makeup when you make Mr. Hyde.
Yeah, you could do that.
Creature from the Black Lagoon, he can be practical.
Can, yeah.
Mummy can be practical. So, you know.
I think I definitely tend to enjoy practical.
Yeah.
But I do understand the elements where you need CGI.
Yeah.
But it's like, just hopefully they don't overdo it. You just seen those movies though.
Yeah.
Where it's like, guys, you were trying way too hard.
Yeah.
You were trying way too hard to be super over the top.
Yeah.
Because I like the premise of those movies you're talking about. Like,
Yeah.
I like the story, so just don't overdo it with extra stuff. Like,
I think I'd also want to make Dr. Jekyll a good guy. You know, in the series.
he seems like he would be a good guy.
Like, make him a good guy. Just make him trying to do the right thing. But also make him young at the beginning of the universe. You know, when he's with the Invisible Man. At the beginning of the story with the Invisible Man. Because second phase, I want to build up to Jekyll and Hyde. You know? You know, because we're starting with the Invisible Man.
Yep.
And he's like a lab assistant. A young lab assistant, maybe 17, 18 years old. Young kid. He's with Frankenstein. His time with Frankenstein, he ages like in his 20s. And then, you know, or wherever, he's just got to be young. Because then by the time it's his movie, he's the Spider-Man of my series. You know, he's young at the beginning, but he's growing older. And by the time it's like his time to shine, he's old enough to make his own decisions and he's smart enough. However, he's like trying to do the right thing, but he messes up, and then Mr. Hyde comes out from a mistake experiment. All right, we gotta make that a thing. And like, I guess his soul story would have to be like a self-battle of addiction, because he gets addicted to it.
Right.
He gets addicted to the feeling of this power.
Yep.
He has over people, you know.
I like that.
Sounds great.
What did you mean by the Spider-Man?
I don't know. Like, he's the young one in the MC universe.
Yeah, I mean, Spider-Man is.
And, like, when it's his time to shine, he'll be, like...
Yeah. It's just weird, though, in some of the progression of the latest Spider-Man stuff.
Yeah.
Is, like, you had an older Spider-Man to a certain extent, you know,
Yeah.
college. And then you moved back to this Spider-Man where he's, like, in high school, I
Yeah.
think. I'm like, I don't know if I like that.
Well, I do, because this Spider-Man is actually kind of like the best Spider-Man. He's nerdy.
Yeah, I've heard he's, you know, the better of the Spider-Mans, but I don't know. Couldn't you have done that with him in college, though? Could you?
Here's the thing. Most of Spider-Man comics take place with him in high school, so...
Oh, okay.
So he's mainly a high school. He's meant to be a kid.
Oh, okay.
So... Yeah, I don't think the Dark Universe needs origin stories. Now that I think about it. Like, because how can you create an origin story for, like, Creature of the Black Lagoon? Like, how can you create an origin for him? Like, the Mummy, we can create it in, like, the beginning with just people talking about it, the sarcophagus.
Yeah, in most of those movies, if you wanted a little bit of backstory, you could just do a quick flashback.
Yeah.
You really don't need...
Or an exposition dump.
Yeah.
But, you know, like, Phase 2 is pretty much just the origin. Phase 2 is technically Jekyll's origin story, I guess. The way I'm
Yeah,
making
you
it.
could say that.
Yeah, the way I'm making it.
Yeah, the way you want it.
Invisible Man is kind of like his own origin story. Working in the labs, becomes invisible, gets mad with power. Because you gotta make each movie about 2 hours.
Thing is, I like them being mysterious. I like mysterious characters and like being able to kind of form your own ideas and opinions about it. But there is a certain amount where I do like also just a little bit of story though.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily want too much mystery where I'm like, I don't know, you can just go anywhere with this. Like, but yeah, you would. I don't think you would need origin. I don't think you would need origin stories. Because
I think that's why I'd put a Van Helsing movie in there with him meeting Victor Frankenstein, getting a hand sewn on, and having it reanimate, just so we can say, hey, I created Frankenstein. I don't know where he is. Kind of thing. Just completely not do a Frankenstein movie.
That's fair. That's fairly.
Because nothing against Frankenstein, it's just his standalone movie's not that great in my eyes.
So I wonder. So in the Versus Dracula movie, are you throwing in a flashback then of how he acquires Frankenstein, or are you just saying, he's just got Frankenstein?
Well, I kind of want to set that up for later.
So you're
like
thinking
maybe Dracula's sequel in Phase 2.
Oh, okay.
You know what? Maybe we'll push Invisible Man like into Phase 1, and then we'll have Dracula versus Wolfman. So we'll put Invisible Man in like very last movie before the fight in Phase 1, just to get that, just like start that, and then the fight, so that way both phases are connected solidly, you know.
Right.
Instead of just having Phase 1 beat the main 3 on Van Helsing. Then Phase 2 is all Mad Scientist. Maybe just put like Mad Scientist right before it, so we can have like a little bit of a connector. I don't know.
Yeah, because the thing is,
that one can switch around a bit.
The thing is when you start something, and then you kind of go through your progression, and then you start something else. I mean, sometimes that can be.
Or we could put Invisible Man before Van Helsing, so Dr. Jekyll can go with Victor Frankenstein, and that's what the Van Helsing movie can be. Is Jekyll, Frankenstein, and Van Helsing trying to get Frankenstein, or something along that nature. Just something for them to do.
Right.
So we have a main heroes kind of thing. That movie would be so boring.
Would it though?
Let's be honest. No universal creature in there. Just the 3 heroes. Like all they'd have to do is face off against minions, and that's it. And like you can't throw anybody in there because you really can't.
Thing is,
unless I'm allowed to create my own creature.
Thing is, do you really need that movie then?
I want there to be a Victor Van Helsing movie though.
Right.
Because he needs to be. You know what? The very last movie, Van Helsing kills Dracula, and we're leading up to, like, before that, Van Helsing defeats Mr. Hyde. Van Helsing stops Frankenstein. Invisible Man, he's fucking killed off by fucking. He has to go the easiest, so he has to be fucking beaten by the Wolfman.
Okay.
Short run. He gets a short run, sadly. But he's only a man who's invisible. He can't do much. He gets put up against the Wolfman. He gets torn to fucking shreds. He puts up a good fight. He's not able to kill it, but,
I mean, all he has is the element of surprise.
Yeah.
To a certain extent.
To a certain extent.
Because, I mean, you're not going to be seen,
Mm-hmm.
but like you said earlier, with the other senses,
Yeah.
he could still be sensed.
Yeah.
When he's close. So.
Or maybe like continue to build up Van Helsing. Like Van Helsing goes to America, stops the mummy in the Black Lagoon, creature from the Black Lagoon, and then he goes back because he considers that like training to him. You know, and then
After taking his L.
yeah,
He took his L. He goes back. He gets some more training.
He needs to take the L.
Yeah, he needs to take the L.
He needs a recovery movie.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, like I said, maybe he fights off against, kills Dracula's son, captures Dracula's son.
Yeah.
Teams up with Dracula's son.
That's an interesting.
Something to keep him going.
Right.
Because I kind of want to make him a monster in his own way. Like he's driven mad because he was allowed to live. Like he's an honorable, he's an honor-bound person.
You know, that I like that part a lot.
You know,
because the thing is, I feel like that logically is what would happen to somebody that like was allowed to live but very, very prideful.
And
you're just like, I gotta get this guy back. I gotta do something.
You know, and then maybe make the final movie like Van Helsing kills Dracula, Frankenstein, and Wolfman all at once. All in one movie.
Oh, wow.
Like at the beginning, it's Frankenstein gets killed off. You know, Victor helps him.
Right.
You know, because he's like, he's weak to fire. He doesn't like fire. And then and then you know, gives him silver bullet because he learned Wolfman can't withstand the silver bullet. You know, takes a fucking beating in that fight. But he fucking pulls out a gun, just shoots it right in the heart. Wolfman goes down. Transforms back into the guy, and the guy's like, "Thank you." Lies up against the wall. And then just dies, slumped over.
Right.
You know, and Van having somewhat of pride goes over, you know, closes his eyes, kind of thing. Kind of the touching humane moment of him.
Yeah. You kind of need those.
And then a battle. I know it's cliched. I want a battle on the bridge between Dracula's the high chamber towers and the main castle. There's a little platform bridge. I want it to be raining. And those two are going to fight right there. And it looks like Dracula's always going to get the better of him. But then, I know it's fucking stupid and it makes no sense, but I want fucking Van Helsing to carve a cross into fucking Dracula's forehead. And just like take like a garlic powder or something garlic,
Yep.
smack him right in the face and hold it there.
Right in the cross.
Right in the cross. Just gets right on top of him and he's holding it down there with pressure. And then grabbing a wooden stake and just drilling him into the heart. Just trying everything on him. You know? And quite honestly, with this universe, you can make like different genre movies, now that I think about it. You know, you got your mystery suspense with Dracula. You got your hardcore horror flick, horror slasher flick with Wolfman. You're going to have your action movies with Van Helsing.
Mm.
And then you got like your little bit of drama with the Mad Scientist ones.
Yeah. That's like, I was just picturing that scene. I'm like,
That was a very vivid image.
it could look pretty good.
It could.
It could,
Like, even if you have the right actors to play it.
yeah. Gosh, this sounds awesome.
It does.
How do you-
But I also want Van to die stupidly. Like, he gets up, slips on the water that's there, falls off the bridge.
no. He's
Yeah.
just one of those guys, and he's just like reaching out.
Yeah.
And he falls off, And he just falls into black. You don't actually see him die.
Like Gaston
but-
in Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, but you're just like, more than likely he's dead.
Yeah.
Or he should be dead.
Yeah.
And but he's just gone. Actually, I like
It's off camera. He's not dead. Could make another movie.
Yeah.
But he's dead.
Good.
But he's dead.
But he's dead.
But he's dead.
We've done that with a few movies.
Yeah.
Where it's like, he's dead.
But he's not dead.
And it's like, bitch, he's not dead.
Well, did you see him die?
Yeah.
I didn't see him die.
He just disappeared into something that should have made him die.
He fell off a 20-story building. He didn't die.
Yeah, he survived.
Did you see him die? Did
Yeah.
you see the body? Did you see the chalk outline? Did you see any blood? No, it faded to black right before he touched the ground. Didn't die.
Yeah. Didn't die. Didn't see him die.
But yeah, I think that's what I would do for the Dark Universe.
Yeah. I like it. When do we get started on this?
Whenever Universal wants to hire me as a writer.
Already via.
Like if anything, I'd only like if I could direct anything, I'd just want to direct that Dracula movie. Like, cause I know I could.
The Dracula versus.
No, the
Or
very
the-
first one. Like the mystery thriller where Dracula
okay.
is the inside man.
Yeah.
Like that's the only thing I want to do because I know I could do it right. I could make it right. I could do that movie justice. I could start it off with a powerhouse.
I think my.
Not to blow my own horn, not to blow smoke up my own ass, but I feel like I could do that.
No, it sounds like it'd be sweet.
Yeah.
I think the only issue you have in this entire thing,
Like the whole universe at all?
yeah, is that. Well, it's not even story or nothing. It's
Mhm.
like, can you get the same actors to play the same roles? Because my biggest thing is
Mhm.
I hate series where they change the actor.
Yeah.
Even if it's just, for two different movies, like for your example, like the Dark Knight
Uh-huh.
trilogy, where they have his love interest change actors
Yeah.
between the two movies. She's only in two of the movies, and they
Mhm.
changed actors.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just doesn't do as much for me.
Well, it'd have to be a contractual thing. Like,
Yeah.
hey, you're signed on to this many movies. Let's see where we go with this.
I'd like that. Yeah, I think.
Like, the main one would definitely have to be Dracula being, like, through the whole thing.
Yeah. You want the same
Like,
person?
I can switch him out for, like, Son of Dracula. That way, that's a cheap cop-out.
Yeah, you could do that.
But it isn't. It could be, if done right, it could be a logical way for, like, end of phase 2, we could have, or beginning of phase 3, we could have Van versus Dracula and actually kill Dracula, and in front of Dracula's son Alucard. Yes, I will say he names his son Alucard.
Alucard.
He names his son Alucard. And Alucard sees this, and now he has a reason to kill Van. Kind of thing, so he's... But that's only if I kink.
I like the story ideas. Like how the progression could go.
Yeah.
And I just think this part's really interesting just because, I mean, you're kind of bringing some other stuff back. This isn't like...
Yeah. I'm not creating new things. And I'm not rehashing old stuff. I'm putting my spin on these classics
Yeah, these classic characters. 'Cause the thing
that have been on the shelves and forgotten about because we put them in homes and we never went to go visit them.
Yeah, because it really
I am the
feels like-
grandchild who cares, and I'm taking them out of the home and I am putting them in the light where they belong.
Yeah.
I even bought all the original books except Frankenstein. I'm not rereading Frankenstein. Fuck that.
No.
I will read Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. I will read The Invisible Man. I am fucking Bram Stoker's Dracula is like that fucking thick. I will read everything just so I can just get the... Because I'd want to make that as much beautiful as possible. Sorry, I keep cutting you off. It's just
No. Yeah, I think, and that's the biggest thing is, when people make movies, and it seems like a lot recently,
Mhm.
they're just rehashing stuff. They're just taking the same stuff, they're just redoing it with newer versions, where I want to see something new.
I know that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I know that's what you're talking about. Ghostbusters. I know it.
But, you have that. And, well, there's just other stuff too. They just do rehashes
Mhm.
of the same stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't want that.
Mm.
Do something new. You can take it in a different direction.
I think the only hard part about the Dark Universe in my Dark Universe, undoing everything in the Mummy franchise to create a new Mummy.
I guess I'm not that familiar.
Like, I
with
have
the
to
Mummy.
destroy the Brendan Fraser. I have to get rid of the Brendan Fraser Mummy movies, the Scorpion King movies, and then the recent Tom Cruise movies. I have to undo all those action flicks to reestablish the Mummy as a horror icon. You know what I mean?
That's gonna be difficult.
Because it can't be a summer blockbuster. It can't be the movie. It can't be a popcorn movie where it's just, hey, you sit down, eat some popcorn while you watch it, and that's it. Like, I need to recreate a Mummy where he's pissed off that he's awoke and he's wreaking havoc. You know?
Yeah, I didn't really think about that
Yeah.
as much, but yeah, that's your hardest contender because that's like the
Yeah,
most recent thing.
That's the only problem child in this whole thing.
And the thing is, they just came out with one with
Yeah.
Tom Cruise,
Yeah.
like just recently. So it's like,
Yeah, so you see how Universal's trying to kickstart their own Dark Universe. Like I said, with Dracula Untold was supposed to be the first one, and then that bombed. And there was Frankenstein, that bombed. Now there's the Mummy, that bombed.
and the thing is, it's all about the story.
Yeah.
Probably, I mean, I haven't really.
In this
watched
day and
those
age,
two.
it is definitely going to be about the story.
You gotta have a good story if you want to revive something that hasn't really been around.
Yeah.
I actually also like in your Dark Universe how you have all the movies where you can have different types of movies,
Mm-hmm.
but still kind of stay
just keep
true.
it fresh.
You always between these people there's this story and it kind of makes this movie and then this
Mhm.
story and it makes this, but then but it feels like though even when you do those,
Mm-hmm.
if you combined different people together after those movies,
Mm-hmm.
you could still kind of make this movie or that movie. You
Yeah.
could kind of go in close to any direction.
Yeah.
And kind of stay true to
Yeah.
to the characters themselves.
It's all about where you place the pieces in the stories and seeing where things fall. Like, the big only standalone movie is going to be Dracula, because all the characters are technically from the Dracula movie and the Dracula story, except Vampire D and my Noah Belmont character. Which those two are obviously going to change for copyright issues, but still.
Right.
Too famous. Some vampire hunters.
Hmm.
So it's like that's the main one where that and the Wolfman, I guess, are the two who are basically in their own movies by themselves.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Because you got Dracula and Van Helsing
Mm-hmm.
from their movies, and then you got Wolfman in his own standalone movie.
Yep.
And I guess you can make Wolfman half horror, half drama, because like part of the Wolfman is the man who wants to kill himself finds love kind of thing.
Because the thing is, it feels like that is the type of movie that you would expect.
Uh-huh.
Horror and drama,
Yeah.
not necessarily just horror.
Mm-hmm.
And I get what you're saying on that. Yeah, makes sense.
And then
Pretty good
during that
stuff.
whole movie, someone makes this fan fiction like video on YouTube, and it's all lined to the back of Imagine Dragons' Monster song. I'm only a man, the candle to guide me, taking a stand to escape what's inside me. A monster, I turned into a monster.
You should also do all the music. You should also do all the music.
Dracula, Dracula's in the party, but you don't know it, cause the story hasn't told you.
That would be the greatest part of those. Is if your songs almost sort of ruined part of the movie.
The Invisible Man. Tiptoe, tiptoe. He's right behind you, Doctor. Tiptoe, tiptoe. He's looking right at you, Doctor. Tiptoe, tiptoe. No, he's choking you out, Doctor. Tiptoe, tiptoe, tiptoe. Go by Dracula on 4K Ultra HD, Ultra HD.
Oh my god. You know, at first I was like, why is he tiptoeing? But I'm like, he's invisible, but he's still going to be noisy if he runs.
Yes.
He has to tiptoe. The only way to keep the element of surprise.
He's the creature from the Black Lagoon.
You should actually also do all the voice acting for the creature from the Black Lagoon. Actually, literally, you just be every character and do every single thing in every movie. I'm the mummy. What the fuck, you guys? Why check me on my tomb? Still have just as long credits, but it's just you listed under every role and every type of feature that they would need to have.
And saying everything. Like I'm voice overing the fucking credits.
Yep.
Directed by...
Actually, I literally wanted to finish with, like, interns. And then it still lists you as like an intern on your own movie.
No animals were harmed in the making of this movie, but one guy stridulated his voice so bad he can't talk for his award. And it says put award address. Send you award here.
I want the movie to win an award, and then you're just there with like a neck brace for some reason. Like I strained my neck so hard.
Or I'm there dressed as the Undertaker.
Yes. It's the only way it had to go. It's the only way it could go.
It really is. I just realized something.
What?
Creature from the Black Lagoon's a love story.
Is it
It's not a
really?
horror flick. Well, it's a horror flick love story, so.
Interesting. I guess I don't really know a whole lot
Yeah.
about.
I don't think I could get Guillermo del Toro to work on that one. Because his movie, The Shape of Water, is kind of reimagining of Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Oh.
Fun fact about The Creature from the Black Lagoon, the actor had spent over about 6 minutes underwater at a time. In the fucking suit.
6 minutes underwater. How the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
How?
That dude is a fucking beast.
I mean, you would have to think relatively to find the right actor. You have a pretty short list.
Yeah.
You have a pretty short list who have
I need
those
someone who
abilities.
can hold their breath. Okay. For 6 minutes. Okay. How about a man who can hold their breath for 6 minutes?
Yeah.
Blowjob joke.
Literally what I was thinking. You read my fucking mind. Read my mind. I'm like, if you were looking for a female, well, you kind of got a long list. You just gotta look.
Oh, fuck.
What?
I forgot Phantom of the Opera.
Phantom of the Opera. Thing is, how does he really fit into this universe?
Because he technically is the very first one.
Right.
But I don't know how he would fit in.
Yeah, like, how does he fit in with other characters? How would he... Huh?
I guess he could be my crime drama.
Okay.
Put him somewhere.
Thing is, how does he show up with any other characters, though? Does he?
Probably make him the beginning of Phase 2. No, make him where I put Invisible Man in Phase 1.
Okay.
And we put the Invisible Man character in Dr. Jekyll meeting at the end of the opera house.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that.
All right. So we got that. And
Are you missing any other ones?
well, I could always do like Bride of Frankenstein or Dracula's Daughter, Son of Frankenstein, The Invisible Woman.
I mean,
I do want a woman in there.
there's interesting stuff in those,
Yeah.
but it's like, sometimes it feels like a reach. And what do you mean by you want a woman in there? Woman is one of the characters?
Yeah. As one of the main baddies. I'm not gonna lie. I always love looking at this picture of the Invisible Man from like this decade, just because he's doing the whole yes, the fucking yes pose.
Yeah.
Like, yes, like from like Kip does it on Napoleon Dynamite at the bowling alley.
Oh, right. That's great.
Yes.
It's pretty cool. Thing is, when I look at that one,
Mm-hmm.
I almost think of the Saw movies.
Saw.
Yeah. Isn't it Saw with the red, with like the white mask with the red on it?
White mask with the red. Jigsaw.
Yeah. Yeah, that's Saw movies, right?
Yeah.
Just kind of what I thought when I looked at it.
Wow, somebody fantasy booked Angelina Jolie to play the Bride of Frankenstein and The Rock to play the Wolfman. I don't think The Rock would do good as the Wolfman.
Yeah, I'm like...
He's too bulky.
I don't know. I imagine the Wolfman is a strong person, but I don't know if I'd say he's ripped.
No, the Wolfman, the werewolf itself is I'd say is like a bulky, strong dude, but the guy behind it can be like, literally can be like nobody.
Right. Well, yeah, he gets all bulked up,
Yeah.
being the wolf.
Yeah.
So...
But I can't believe I forgot Phantom of the Opera, man.
Thing is...
Yeah. All that fucking hype and we forgot the fucking Phantom of the Opera. But at the same time, he can be his own one-off movie, too. So,
That's true.
nothing too big with him. He can be a setup movie.
It's one of those things, though, it's like, we really had the groundwork laid out, and
Yeah.
then all of a sudden, boom. We're like, oh, okay. Forgot one.
We had a basic timeline going. Really? That's a weird choice. Someone's fan choice for Dr. Jekyll Hyde is Chris Evans.
You know, weirdly enough, though, it seems like it would work. Kind of seems like it would work.
It would. But in my universe, he'd be too old. You know?
Yeah. Probably would.
He'd be too old looking. Maybe a Tom Hiddleston. Maybe Tom Hiddleston would work. Yeah, Javier Bardem would work as Frankenstein.
That seems perfect.
Like lazy facial features. The only person I don't know is who would play my Dracula. You know?
Dracula. You know, that is kind of a tough one.
And would my Dracula have slick back hair, or I could have Neil Patrick Harris as the Invisible Man?
Yeah, I think that'd work.
It'd be stupid, but it would work.
So what were the options? Slick back hair or what?
Like, do I want slicked back hair for Dracula, or do I want long wavy hair?
What does long wavy hair look like? Do they have an option? Because I feel like slick back hair is what I've kind of known for Dracula.
Like something like the Castlevania Dracula, you know? Like, he looks elegant with the long hair.
I guess it really depends on what the actor looks like.
I know, right?
Because, I mean, you'll have some that could look like a perfect Dracula, but the hair's only going to work one way.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I like it both ways. Like, depending on how it's pulled off, it could be great, or it could be terrible.
To me, I think the hardest one to probably do is more of the longer, curvy hair.
Why?
Like, I just feel like that's going to be harder to find the actor that makes that work. Where I feel like it's easier to find an actor to make the slicked back hair look.
Sadly, they did find a character that made the long hair work. He was just in a bad movie. You know, the guy from The Hobbit?
Okay. Yeah.
Like, he made the long hair work.
Yeah, the long hair can work. But, it was always going to be down to what the person looked like.
Yeah. Like, and he looks like he does seem like he'd be a good Dracula.
The thing is, do you really like the long hair for Dracula? Do you think that's...
Like I said, it's all about... it. Like you said, it's all about the actor, really.
I mean, it is the actor, but it's like... Also, just what do you picture when you picture a Dracula? Do you picture the long hair, or do you picture the slick back? Because I kind of feel like I picture the slick back.
I am in so much of the into both of them. Like, I've played a lot of the Castlevania games, and they all have the long hair Dracula. But at the same time, like, Bela Lugosi's Dracula is just so iconic. Slicked back hair and like looking charming and clean. Maybe have him start out with long hair as like the vampire hunter, and then like as the story progresses he gets cleaned up.
How old do you picture Dracula?
I'd want him to be like mid to late 30s, the beginning, just so he has room to age.
Right.
Or if I want to go like the Son of the Dracula route, make him mid to late 40s, early 50s. Because if I go the Son of Dracula route, I can always kill him off.
Right.
Alucard steps in, and we can have that Dracula have short hair and this Dracula have long hair.
Right.
So, best of both worlds with that timeline.
Now, with a Dracula...
I'm creating multiple fucking timelines in this universe. I'm creating multiple fucking story links. That's fucking weird.
We need like a nice big board to create a diagram for this.
We do.
Because it starts to get a bit intense, and then you're just like, where am I at on this?
Yeah.
Now with Dracula, though.
Uh-huh.
isn't Dracula supposed to be like somebody that like barely ages, or do they age like normal? I guess I don't.
I think he's someone who barely ages. Because I know he's an immortal being.
Yeah, and that's what I thought. So I'm like, I mean, yeah, you sort of want some room for aging, but isn't it really? Wouldn't it take so long for that character supposedly to really age anyway?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know what you mean.
Multiple timelines. Oh.
You know what I would really want, like if this ever went happen? Frankenstein, I want him to be battle damaged. You know? Like the makeup to progressively like look like it's getting beat the fuck up. Like he can't repair it. So
Okay.
like he loses a chunk of his flesh. That chunk of flesh is missing throughout the rest of the series. Because I don't want Victor and the monster to ever meet paths again. Unless you know what I mean? I don't want them to really get back together. Like I want Victor.
They don't need to.
Like
they definitely don't need to.
Like I want Victor to distance himself from it. But at the same time, I do feel like I want the monster to come back to what. Like I want, you know what? I want him to be a good guy too.
The
like
monster?
That, yes. Like he needs to be my good guy as well. Because really, he's just a child.
Right. With the monster, we kind of, I feel like we've referred to him as Frankenstein.
Yes.
Is his name really Frankenstein though?
It's technically Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Thing is, everybody refers to him as Frankenstein, but he's not really. His name's not really Frankenstein.
Well, I guess throughout the movie, we can just call him the monster. Throughout the universe, we'll call him the monster.
The weird part of this, though, I feel like so many people call him Frankenstein that it would almost be weird if you didn't know him.
Well, you know what? For the full fucking thing of the Dr. Jekyll thing, I'm gonna have everybody in the fucking universe call him. You must be Dr. Jekyll. It's pronounced Jekyll. Like it's.
I like that.
You know, just correct everybody.
Gosh, I just lost it. Because you said that, and you know, with your facial expressions, I automatically just pictured an actor. Because, like, you sounded a lot like him, and I'm like, facial expressions and everything, I'm like, that person would work. And then I was like, oh, and he's gone. And he's gone.
It's pronounced Jekyll, my good sir. Did he come back?
Ah, dang it. No.
See, the only thing I'm thinking is like Johnny Depp. Whenever you say something like that, and I'm like, no.
Johnny Depp?
Because I'm thinking of like weird movies that Johnny Depp's in, and he does that kind of stylized voice and expressions.
It kind of seems that way, but I don't think Johnny Depp would fit within any of what we're trying to do.
He could play an old Dracula.
Yeah. Because I'm also just thinking, one, you know, I'm thinking about the actors and where they're at now, and you're like, a lot of the decent actors out there, I don't know if they're necessarily going to work with age right now.
Uh-huh.
What we're looking to do. And you can get some of it, but yeah, they would have to be later timeline type of stuff.
Uh-huh.
Huh.
It's pronounced Jekyll, my good sir.
Gosh. For some reason, I just had a specific person pictured for that. And then it's just gone.
Maybe get like a British actor to play the Invisible Man, you know? Because all you really need for the Invisible Man is a voiceover.
You do.
Because you can have anybody.
Yeah, you could have anybody do it.
Yeah, you can just put anybody in the suit and there's your guy.
I like that he would always have to be correcting people. They need that.
So, are you Victor Frankenstein? Yes, you must be Mr. Jekyll. I've been hearing so much about. It's Jekyll, my good sir. But do go on.
Everybody refers to him as Jackal.
That's Jekyll, and he refers to himself as Jekyll.
Everybody calls him Jackal.
It's Jekyll, my good sir. I don't mean to sound rude. And then he meets Van Helsing. You must be Jekyll. It's You actually got it right.
Yeah. Wait, you win, good sir.
You've actually got it right. I'm sorry. I was about to go off on you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What are you looking at?
I don't know.
I don't know. I like what we have added. I just don't know how much I would want some of the other stuff, like you're talking, sons and wives and type movies.
Well, I think the only thing I'd want to do that is to like be throwbacks to the classics.
Right.
Like we could do a Son of Dracula movie. That'd be easy to do.
I feel like that's probably one of the better ones.
And then to put a woman in there, we could always just do a Bride of Frankenstein.
Could.
You know?
They had a woman in The Mummy, the newest Mummy movie.
Yeah, we could always make her a mummy. Make the mummy a female too. So that's a few people we can be. Have be women.
I mean,
I just want to make sure all our, we have a fair ratio.
Yeah. The biggest thing though is, I feel like Dracula can't be a woman. Wolfman. Clearly can't be a woman. Wolfman. Hello. Frankenstein's monster. I just don't feel like that can be a woman.
That has to be a jacked dude.
Yeah.
Like, Frankenstein's monster, quite honestly, he needs to be big. He needs to be bulky. He needs to be Braun Strowman. Dude's like over 7 feet tall, by the way. Just pro wrestler Braun
What
Strowman.
about that guy that plays the wildling in Game of Thrones?
Thoroman.
Oh my gosh.
That guy.
Yes, that guy. I feel like he could play
Torment. He could.
I feel like he could play Frankenstein's monster.
He could. Yeah.
You know what I was kind of thinking? When I started thinking about a Dracula character? I almost thought about the guy that played Khal Drogo.
Jason Momoa?
Yeah.
As Dracula? Ooh, he could do a long-haired Dracula.
Yeah. See with the
and
top
he could
row
do a short-haired Dracula.
Because you see the top row there that you're looking at.
That
one looks...
That one.
You're like... I think that could be Dracula.
Like he trims the beard a little bit and make it more...
Yeah, you'd have to trim the beard up a little bit and stuff, but I feel like, when I was kind of thinking about it, that seems like that could work for Dracula.
And then, just shave off the beard and slick back.
Yeah.
I see where you're coming from with that one.
I understand, where you were thinking beforehand. Like, I get where you were thinking. You're like, Khal Drogo, he looked like... You're like, how is that even going to work? But then it's like, yeah, you can kind of see it.
Like, my whole thing is just, like, he's a little buff for my taste in a Dracula, but...
Oh, yeah, he's a little jacked. Although, the right costume could probably hide that a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in the first movie, he'd pretty much be covered in rags, and then
Right.
the rest he'd be in a suit.
Then who do you have for Mr. Jekyll?
Doctor. Let's just look at fan casts. Keanu Reeves. No.
Oh wait, who's the guy that plays like the villain a little bit in one of the newer Star Treks? Forget what his character name is. Cause I feel like what's his name?
Plays the bad guy?
Yeah,
In both or the new?
new.
Like-
Like what?
Into Darkness or
Yeah, probably be one of the newest.
I honestly don't know which Star Trek movies.
Yeah, I've
Push
only
comes to
really
shove,
watched.
just goes to IMDb. I don't know.
What's his?
Khan?
Yeah,
Benedict Cumberbatch?
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Him?
What do you think for one of the characters in that?
If anything, I'd see him as the Invisible Man.
I like it.
Just because he's a lot more elegant.
You don't think he could be a Jekyll?
No.
Invisible Man would work.
Yeah.
Jekyll. Who do you get as a Jekyll? Who do you get as Victor Frankenstein?
Oh, who's that fucking kid from Fantastic Four that I hate?
Which one?
Miles Teller.
Who's Miles Teller?
That kid.
Oh, I know him from all kinds of movies. What were you what were you thinking?
Dr.
for-
Jekyll. He's young. He can be my growing up character. He can play my good guy and my bad guy.
That would work. I don't know. Just most of the movies I feel like I've seen him in,
Mm-hmm.
he's always kind of the hated character, and I just
That's why he'd be a good Mr. Hyde.
He makes me want to hate him regardless. Thing is, who do you have as a Victor Frankenstein?
Victor Frankenstein.
Yeah. Well, actually, when I don't even know what to picture Victor Frankenstein is as. Like what does Victor Frankenstein look like? I can always picture the monster, but Victor Frankenstein himself.
I mean, we can always recast James McAvery.
Actually, that's not bad. That doesn't seem half bad.
It doesn't, but or since it will be older, we could always do like Edward Norton.
Edward Norton?
Yeah. You know, the right makeup, because he's kind of that scrawny guy.
Actually, you know what? I like that.
I like how I type Edward Norton and a picture of Donald Trump pops up out of nowhere.
Oh, that's great.
Like, plus this dude's in his 40s.
Actually, did we decide on a Wolfman yet?
I know. Let's pick Rob Lowe.
Rob Lowe.
That's the Wolfman.
Not a chance. There's no way.
Talking about, he'd be perfect.
He could be the creature from the Black Lagoon.
What are you talking about? I want to see that smile.
No way he's a Wolfman. I just couldn't see that at all. Could not see that at all.
Wolfman.
Wolfman. Oh, you know what?
Chris Pratt. Wolfman. No, that'd be a comedy.
Who's the guy? Now I'm thinking of the Game of Thrones character.
Carry
his brother's the Mountain.
Oh, Sandor. Or, yeah, Sandor.
Yeah.
Him as Wolfman?
Could you kind of see it?
He could be more like my Frankenstein monster.
He could.
He's a lot bigger for it.
What are you picturing the Wolfman as?
Like, we just really need the man as the Wolfman.
I feel like, to a certain extent, that might be the harder one to find who you're kind of looking for.
Alright, I'm going to throw this one out there. And I'm just going to say Michael B. Jordan as Wolfman.
What else has he been in?
He has been in, I think he's the one in Creed. Yeah, he's been.
Oh,
he's been in Creed.
He's the one from Creed.
Oh, Creed 2 is gonna come out next year.
Actually, I don't think that's too bad. That's
It's
probably a pretty reasonable one.
Yeah. He was in the Boondocks.
Boondocks.
Yeah, he was in the Boondocks. I don't know why I'm surprised. A lot of people were in the Boondocks.
Boondocks.
Oh, you know who would be great for Victor Frankenstein?
Oh.
Bruce Campbell.
If you're looking for a little bit older one, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that would work.
And then we make all the Evil Dead cliches we can.
Well.
Who will we get to play the Phantom?
Phantom. That's what I was starting to think. I'm like, well, now we're kind of down to the Phantom. And,
Let's just raid Game of Thrones.
Is he young or old, would you say?
He's kind of middle-aged.
Middle-aged.
What is this page for Game of Thrones on IMDb?
Yeah, fancy. Yeah, just get to the actors here.
Let's get Peter Dinklage to play Phantom.
Oh,
Just need to CGI arms and legs.
Peter Dinklage. What character did he play?
Wait, what about Nikolai Schmorgan Heckendorf over here? Jamie Lannister.
Jamie Lannister as the Phantom?
Yeah.
Yeah. It could work.
Alright, he's in the maybe pile.
He's in the maybe pile. I don't know, though. I don't know if
Jorah Mormont.
Gosh, he kind of seems like he could be, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm sold on him either, though.
Okay, Aidan Gillen. Littlefinger.
Actually, literally, that was the next one I was going to ask you. I feel like because of the connection I had with that character, on how I felt about him, I feel like that's who would be a good Phantom.
Yeah.
I would just feel like that would be the one.
All right, my Dark Universe is already cast,
Yeah, there we go.
except for the creature. But he's an easy find. Why? Because we're only going to find because we're going to find one actor. Is Hellboy one or two words? Hellboy is one word. Awesome. Where is Abe Sapien? Alright, maybe he wasn't in this one. Oh, this is 2018.
2018.
Yeah. Abe Sapien. Doug Jones. There you go, Creature from the Black Lagoon, Doug Jones.
Seems like that would work.
I only say that because he plays the water guy in Hellboy, so.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Oh, nope, we can't hire him. He was in the Bye Bye Man.
Bummer.
Oh, he was the Bye Bye Man in the Bye Bye Man.
Oh,
We definitely can't hire him now.
No, he's out.
But he plays the Amphibian Man in Shape of Water. Look at that thing. That looks so good.
Yeah. The Shape of Water. It says it's this year.
Yeah, coming out in December.
December.
What's our time at?
Well, we're at 2 hours 40 minutes.
I think we should stop.
Yeah, I think so too.
We spent a long time on the Dark Universe.
Yeah, probably. I would say close to an hour and 40 minutes of that.
Not bad.
No, not bad.
Not bad.
Well, make sure to follow us on Twitter at PhantasmaCast, at PhantasmaCJ, and at Big B Plays.